Hello, everybody. I'm waiting at the doctor's office, so if I sound weird and talk funny, it's because I'm really kind of sick. And not kind of, I am sick. But this is going to be a story time about Radio Free America. When I was in high school, I graduated with a kid that was over in Iran in the mid-late 1970s. And if you know, you know. But at any rate, his parents were missionaries, and they were over there doing mission work, and they did not live on the base. Well, things got so bad for the Americans that they moved all Americans to the base. So him and his family were included into moving into the base, into military housing. They had somehow, on Radio Free America, gotten the word out to every American in Iran, and I don't know how. This day, I don't know how, but they got word out to everybody that if Radio Free America played White Christmas by Bing Crosby, they were to run to the airstrip, because they were being evacuated out of the country. So one day, my friend, him and his siblings were sitting at the kitchen table. They no longer went to school because they had armed guards taking them to school on school buses, but it had gotten too dangerous, and they had put the Americans on under martial law, which means they were not allowed out of houses. So because of that, they weren't allowed to leave their house. They had to stay in their house all the time. His dad had gone to work. I think his dad started working for the government. Anyway, so they had their radio up on their top of the refrigerator, and they were sitting in the kitchen eating breakfast one morning, and all of a sudden on Radio Free America, White Christmas started playing by Bing Crosby. And according to him, as far as he knows, his cereal is still sitting on that table because they dropped everything and literally ran out of the house as fast as they could to the airstrip, getting on one of the last few planes out of Iran before all hell broke loose. His dad got on the plane too, even though his dad wasn't there. They all managed to get together. But at any rate, the Iranians figuring out what was happening and started shooting at the plane with guns. They not anti-aircraft weapons, so it wasn't really going to hurt him. And so he got out, and of course, his hometown was my hometown. We went to high school together. We graduated together. My point is that Radio Free America is not just a radio station. It is just not something for the service members to listen to and hear music and news from home. That's not what that is about. It's been around for a very, very long time. My dad was in the Air Force, and he was very high up in security clearance. And he was on an island one time. Him and one other guy was on an island, and they were guarding a concrete building. There was something in the building. I don't know what it was. He never would tell what it was. But they were on 12-hour shifts, him and the other guy. And so one would go sleep for 12 hours, and another would guard for 12 hours inside this concrete building. There was no way to get in the building. The person inside had opened it up somehow to let the other person in to take over, and then they'd go sleep. There was no outside access to this building, because I asked him one time, and I could see him trying to figure out how to get in the building if he had to. I said, what happens if the person inside died? And he thought about it, and I could see him picturing that building and going around it and checking it, and he said, I don't know. Maybe the government knew how to get in it. But at any rate, on Radio Free America, according to the news, that island was a vacation spot, and there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of military people on this island vacationing and doing R&R. It was booming. There were 2 people on that island. My dad and the other guy guarding whatever they were guarding. By the same token, my dad was on an island that really was for R&R, and Radio Free America said it was empty. There wasn't anybody there. And it was full of military. Full of military. So the propaganda tool used by Radio Free America is to distract the enemy. It uses propaganda in order to distract the enemy, in order to help the Americans do what they need to do. My friend would have never gotten out if it wasn't for Radio Free America. He would have been killed, most likely. Sometimes propaganda is used for good. But the reason I'm telling this story is Trump has done away, or wants to do away, with Radio Free America. And he doesn't understand it's not a radio station. It looks like a radio station, walks like a radio station, and quacks like a radio station. But it's a propaganda tool. It is a tool from the military to distract. Military people, veterans, active, you took an oath. You took an oath, and we're there. But Radio Free America needs to be saved. It does not need to be disbanded. It just shows the lack of knowledge. Bye.